All right, and we are back. Um Probably shouldn't be recording this. Episode 19. I am your host, Josh Love. Just finishing up a Friday shift here at my job. Um, First, I wanted to give a little bit of a health update. Uh, Last week, I spoke to you guys about finding a lump on my very swollen testicles, my balls, and I went and got some imaging done. Got some. I can never remember what it's called. Ultrasound. I got an ultrasound on both my lower abdomen and my testicles. I waited until Monday for the results, and when the results came back, good news is the lump that I found was a cyst, which tend to happen. The bad news is I do have a non-reducible hernia. That means that it's not able to be pushed back in, and it is something that likely will require surgery. I am meeting my doctor on Tuesday to see what his plan for me is. Most likely will involve surgery. While I was there, I did get uh, some other tests done on my blood and my urine, so I'm sure I'll be hearing about those results as well. But it's good news. Good news is that it's not cancer. But I spent four 4 days or so not knowing what was going to happen, not knowing what it was, and let me just tell you, I was absolutely miserable during those 4 days. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat. Um, so yeah, it was not a good time had by anybody. So, but now that I know it's quote unquote just a hernia, um, I feel relieved. I'm worried that I mean surgery down in that area of your body is never going to be a fun experience. Um, I'm sure I'll be on some weight restrictions. Uh, but yeah, it's a hernia, so yay me. Not cancer, so you guys are gonna have to listen to me for a lot longer. It's not cancer, so yeah. So today at work was crazy. So normally during my Friday, I like to plan out a show or at least pick a couple of topics and then come tell you about said topics and my thoughts. Um, I wasn't able to do that today because it was pretty hectic, and at my job I do a lot of different things, so I wasn't able to uh, com- compartmentalize and set aside some time to pick some topics out. So this one's just kind of gonna be uh, random, random as hell. I will tell you, I went to do a test for my microphone, and normally when I test my microphone, I usually just say testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3, and see if my levels are good. And if they are, I record. Today, instead of saying testing 1 2 3, I went and I started my whole spiel as if I'm answering the phone at work. So I made myself laugh a little bit there. It was yeah, it was a hectic day. Uh, what what has been in my brain for Oh, I don't know. Ever since the motherfucker got elected, Donald Trump and what he is doing to this country. The the situation in Minnesota where two different people were killed by ICE agents. Um, Both happened to be white, and I didn't. My outrage wasn't more because they're white, just like I am. My outrage was more when George Floyd was murdered, when any of the other stories that have come through the last 10 to 15 years. My outrage was there, was higher for those instances. Oh, excuse me, I just yawned. The sooner, I mean, and it seems like it's happening. His tariffs just got taken away against Canada because he was putting tariffs on Canada for no reason. We had good trade relations with Canada. We had good trade relations with a lot of other countries that Donald Trump and his brilliant idea of tariffing everybody when the man, for I want to say it's at least 80% that he doesn't actually know what a tariff is. Um, because the people who suffer with tariffs are us, are the American people. Um, but Republicans are coming to the side of the Democrats and getting rid of some of the stuff that he's been doing. But the the stranglehold he has on his on his base, who he continuously talks down to and demeans and makes fun of, and they just stick by his side no matter what. And everything that's going on with the Epstein files, it's heartbreaking to have to. I haven't. I had the stomach to go through and just kind of read what's going on, but it's horrific. There's sex trafficking of children, um, young girls being forced to have abortions at gunpoint, basically, and like all of this stuff is 100% evil, and it's coming out. These documents are like real, and you still have people swearing up and down that Donald Trump is the right person to run this country, that he's the best president we've ever had, which is uh, such a crazy statement to even put Donald Trump and best president in the same sentence is crazy to me. And then, you know, we of course maybe won't see any, like, no arrests have been made. That is the wildest thing about all of this. People people have been named, and the only things that have happened is like certain people have resigned from positions. There's one guy in the UK, I can't remember his name, who's the British Parliament is like literally starting an investigation on. And I know France, in France, Elon Musk, who was in the files a bunch, got his offices raided by the French, not the government, but you know, well, I guess so, the French government. So those are really the only two serious things that have happened. When it's clear that, I mean, Donald Trump is in the files over 900,000 times. His name is in the files over 900,000 times. His name is in the Epstein files more than Jesus' name is in the Bible. Think about that. His name is in the Epstein files more than Harry Potter's name is in the series of Harry Potter books. the entire fucking series of books, Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files more than Harry Potter's name is in that book. But he's still the best president. He's this God-fearing Christian person. It is insane to me that he's still even in office, that he's not under arrest, that they don't throw him under the fucking jail for everything that he took part in. And then, like last week, I saw there's conspiracy theories now that Jeffrey Epstein is still alive. There was a picture taken in Israel, of all places, because Jeffrey Epstein most likely was working with Netanyahu in the Israeli government. But that's not true. That's not been proven, but a lot of evidence in the Epstein files points it that way. Where was I going with that? Lost my train of thought. Where was I going with that? Okay, well, I've lost my train of thought. Damn, I was on a roll too. Sorry about that, guys. Let's pivot for a second and talk about the Super Bowl halftime performance from Bad Bunny. I did not watch the game live. I had no intentions on watching it. The Seahawks beat the Patriots, which is amazing because the Seahawks are owned by a woman, and Seattle is one of the cities that Donald Trump first targeted when he got in office. So the fact that they won is wonderful. But the fact that they beat the Patriots, whose owner is a donor to Donald Trump, who is also in the Epstein files, was even more sweeter. So the end result of the game was amazing. I had no interest in watching it. I don't care about either of those teams, and I'm at the point now where I'm not gonna watch football just because it's football, especially if it's the NFL. Throughout my late 30s, early 40s, my interest in the NFL has gone down exponentially. So I more care about college football. So, I mean, if there's a college football game on and I don't know either of the teams or I'm not a fan of, I still might watch it because I like college football. I think it's a more exciting brand of football. But the halftime show, I watched it later with my wife. It was incredible. Bad Bunny put on such a good performance. He told such a beautiful story with, the history of Puerto Rico, and he did some shout outs to bodegas, and it was beautiful. Then you have the alternative halftime show headlined by Kid Rock, who, funny enough, a couple of days ago, I had a dream where I was at a house party, and then that motherfucker Kid Rock showed up, and in my dream I looked at him and I called him a garbage human being, and he came after me, and I punched him in the face, and then I woke up. So, and here's what I love about my wife. One of the millions of things I love about my wife. I told her about it, and then I said I was concerned about my dream brain being at a party with Kid Rock, and she was like, "That's just him intruding on people's lives like he has for the last 25 years." Like she put me at ease knowing that I'm not sitting there dreaming about Kid Rock. I did punch him in the face, so it was a happy dream. So, but anyway, the Turning Point USA halftime show, led by Kid Rock and a bunch of other artists I couldn't give a shit about. Turns out that show in question for the halftime show was taped about a week before the Super Bowl ever happened. They had audio issues throughout. Turns out Kid Rock forgot how to lip sync, or the audio was just screwed up, which is hilarious. Um, and it got, I think the last numbers I saw was about 5 million viewers for the alternative half show. Meanwhile, Bad Bunny had the most watched halftime performance ever, beating out Kendrick Lamar's performance from last year. And it was just incredible. And, you still see all these people complaining, I'm not going to watch a halftime show that's not in English. That didn't stop you when Shakira performed. That didn't stop you when Jennifer Lopez was on there. Most of the, older white people can't understand what Kendrick is saying. That didn't stop you from watching it then. It was also pretty great that at one point in Spanish, Bad Bunny was like, look, this is what you wanted. And then revealed Lady Gaga, who, is as white as a fence. And but it was a salsa version of one of her songs, and it was wonderful. It was such a nice little treat. Um, and then, I mean, the whole performance was like, it was a show. It was wonderful. And then they do a slow pan to Ricky Martin, who, by the way, is the same age as Kid Rock, and Ricky Martin looks incredible. Like, that man has aged beautifully. We were watching it, and I had to look up how old he was because I was like, that man looks like he's in his 30s. He is 50, 55, 54, 54, 55. Kid Rock's the same age. He looks like he's in his 60s. And a lot of the comments online were, and it goes back to what I said many episodes ago. Uh, Carrying hate or being a hateful person, or it ages you. It makes you look terrible. And of course, you factor in all of the drugs and alcohol that Kid Rock has consumed over his life. That certainly makes matters worse for how you're going to look as you age. And yeah, and just thought it was funny. And the Turning Point USA show got ripped to shreds online. Uh, many months ago, I re-downloaded Twitter. I will never call it X. It is Twitter. I didn't have Twitter for a long time because I wasn't about to support Elon Musk. Uh, and I tried Blue Sky. I tried Red Note. I tried a few other ones, but the main reason I really liked Twitter was a lot of the people I follow for college football were on there. So I was getting my college football news from Twitter because I don't have live TV. I don't have cable, so I don't watch ESPN. I don't watch any of that stuff. So Twitter was how I got my news and stuff. So last year when college football started, I re-downloaded Twitter so I can, you know, stay up on news and all that. And I just kind of kept it, but I don't use it like I used to. I do have a Twitter account for this podcast, so make sure you follow that. The link will be in the description of this video or this podcast. I would love to have you follow me, and you can see where I talk about sports and politics and all of this other stuff. So um, I don't have many followers, but it's okay. I'm not on there for the followers. Most of these things that I have, I'm doing for myself. Like, a lot of people have podcasts because they want to get big. A lot of people use Twitter because they want to get famous. Same reason that people use TikTok. I'm a lurker on TikTok. I just got to find an alternative because I really hate what they're doing with their algorithm and everything. So, but It is. It was a wonderful halftime show. I really enjoyed it. I hope next year. I saw it on social media that last year was Kendrick, this year was Bad Bunny, next year should be K-pop, and I would be so down for a uh, K-pop Super Bowl halftime show. The sets and like the the theatrical stuff would be so incredible. And you get the ladies from K-pop Demon Hunters, Huntrix. You get uh, Blackpink. You get all of these world famous artists from Korea, and they put on a banger of a halftime show. That would be incredible. I fully 100% support that. Um, but yeah, so that's this is my random kind of word vomit podcast. No plan equals me talking about politics and the Super Bowl, and that's one last thing I want to touch on, and then we'll call it an episode. As you guys all know, I am a very huge Nebraska football fan. Like they are, other than my wife and my kids, they are my one true love. It's an abusive relationship. They constantly let me down. Um, but the Nebraska basketball team, let me tell you, they started the season 20-0. They are now 21-3. The teams they have lost to were the sixth ranked Illinois basketball team. They lost to the 13th ranked Purdue Boilermakers. And then they also lost to the third ranked Michigan Wolverines in a game that they should have won. They also should have won the Purdue game. They're ranked, I think, ninth in the country right now. The big story on that basketball team is they have never won an NCAA tournament game. They're the only Power Four school to not have won a tournament game. If things go the way they go right now, this will be the year that they break that streak, and it's just pretty incredible because they were picked next to last to finish in the Big Ten this year. Right now, they're in the top four. Um, it's just been an incredible turnaround, and I feel bad that I haven't said anything yet. Well, honestly, I'm not the biggest basketball fan anymore. It used to be the sports I loved when I grew up in order were baseball, basketball, then football. Because I played both baseball and basketball. Never played football. I was always too small. Um, so sometimes I get really basketball heavy, basketball focused. Like I just got NBA 2K26, and I'm gonna start like a little thing for that to keep myself entertained. Um, but the fact that Nebraska basketball is 21-3, they're ranked ninth in the country. Uh, they are most likely going to be a 2 or a 3 seed in the tournament, which is bonkers. This team has never won a tournament game. This team has never been higher. I mean, they were a 3 seed way back in the day. I remember watching that game. They lost to one of the Ivy League schools. I think it was Penn, and Penn just whooped their ass, or it might have been somebody else. But yeah, they should win their first tournament game this year, and that I saw some people picking them to go to the national championship, which is still crazy. I'm not going to go that far, but I mean, I think when I do my bracket, when the brackets come out, I will definitely probably have them at least go to Sweet 16, and then I'll do one homer bracket where I pick them to win the whole thing, because I always do. Anytime they're in the tournament, I do like a real bracket, and then I do another bracket where they go all the way and they win, or they make it to the championship and lose. But yeah, that's it's pretty incredible. I mean, Nebraska ball is real, and they've impressed me. They play the best team basketball I've ever seen a Nebraska team play. They have two potential NBA players. Uh, one guy shoots the lights out. He has like the quickest release I've ever seen. Then this other kid has the facial hair of like a fucking pirate, but he plays his ass off, and he's one of those players where if you were playing against him, you fucking hate him, but when he's on your team, you're like, yeah, keep doing what you're doing. Um, and it's incredible to see, because I know Nebraska ball fans have been devoted for years and years and years and sat through mediocrity and shitty teams, and here we are, 21-3 in the last month of the season before the tournament. Most likely they're going to at least probably win, I would say, 25 games, 24 games. Um, but it's incredible, and I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of the coach, Fred Hoiberg. you know, Fred Hoiberg's success here in basketball should be a sign to the Nebraska fans. If you're patient with the right coach, you can turn it around. And I am talking about Matt Rule, because I do think he's the right coach. And with that being said, that's going to conclude this podcast. I appreciate you guys listening to me ramble. I will have a plan of attack for next week's podcast, as it will be a couple of days before my wife and I's 4th anniversary of marriage. So it's probably going to be mostly talking about her and how much I love her. She doesn't listen, so it's fine. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. If you guys have to go anywhere, make sure you go with love. Love you guys. Bye-bye.